a solitary place, looking for forgiveness. I can see it on your face. Come on, people, now. Whoa, low, 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 low. You're playing hideaway.
Hello John, welcome in Rother. It's going to be the first time that you will be on stage of the Rother Bluestagen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Your father has played here, I think, at least twice.
I think 4 times, so yeah. I think so. Don't quote me on that.
How is it being on stage playing in a band with his father? I think it's different than normal bands, quote unquote.
Yeah, it's a different dynamic. You're certainly much more. There's more going on than when I just play with my friends in a band, you know. But obviously, my father's at a much greater professional level than when I just kind of jam with my friends and whatnot. But I'm incredibly lucky and very blessed. You know, I almost lost my father. He had a liver transplant, and so after he was sick, I kind of told myself, I'm not going to take this life for granted. I'm not going to take any of these opportunities for granted. And that's also when I really started playing guitar, practicing and trying to learn, was when my dad got sick. So I'm very lucky I get to do that.
You're also working as his tour manager in the US, if I got it right.
I have been. I stopped. I went to go pursue an education as a pilot. I couldn't complete that because of some health issues. But yeah, I've worked for him in the States, being his tour manager and dealing with our, you know, his. It was a family operation. My mother, his wife, is his manager. And so we were a combined Trout family front, if you will. It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Sit next to me, feels like you don't even care. You're standing next to me, feels like you ain't even there. I believe I found the reason. Yeah, I don't believe you really care.
I've been talking with your father with this last album before the new one, and he then told me that you were playing guitar just for fun, playing mainly rhythm guitar, and when he got sick and you feared that you might lose your father, then you started playing seriously, playing solos and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
What kind of feeling was it back then, fearing that you might lose your father?
I mean, obviously it's not a good feeling. It's very scary. And to make things worse, I lived in Denmark. He lived, the rest of my family, in the United States. So I was not there to really witness a lot of what was going on. You know, my mother wrote posts about his condition, how he was getting treated and whatnot, and that was also really the only way I found out what was going on. So it was very scary, and you know, like I said, I really try not to take anything for granted now, and just enjoy every opportunity I get to play with my father and be in the family business, so to speak. It's a lot of fun.
There was a tribute concert back then when you, quote unquote, stepped into his footsteps and took his place, at least for this show.
Yeah, I tried. I hope nobody was expecting me to just fill his shoes and do, you know, I mean, I'd have to practice for 40 years, and even then I don't know if I could ever, you know, do what my father does. He's a very special man. So.
you mentioned you're living in Denmark. At least in Facebook you have Aalborg as the place that you're living.
Nyborg. Actually, Aalborg. I did live there. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Because your mom comes from Denmark, or?
Yeah, mother's Danish. They met actually at a Danish show, and my dad imported my mom over to the United States, so to speak. And I guess 3 or so years later, I happened, and he started a family in America. And then I moved back to Denmark about 8 years ago. I was 16, 17, and that was when I started living in Denmark. Got a Danish passport. I'm a dual citizen, and I very much like it over there.
And working as a musician now, or making your living as a musician, or what are you doing?
No, I'm not working as a musician. I used to, like you said, the tour managing. I did that for a while. Right now I'm studying. I'm trying to convert I went to an international school, and I'm actually just going to a regular Danish school, trying to get my grades turned into the Danish system's grades, so I can apply to a university and kind of have a normal life, so to speak. I'd like to have something more than music in case the music doesn't work out, obviously.
But that means you want to try it as a musician.
Yeah, of course it would be nice, but it's a very hard life. It looks very glamorous. And, even I, growing up as this kid, thought it was a little bit easier than it was until I went out and tour managed, and it's very stressful. I have a lot of respect for my father that he does it at his age, because me at 25, it's very difficult. And so I like playing music, but I don't know if I want to keep it for fun. Obviously any professional opportunity I get, I'll take, but I'm really just doing it for fun. Just the enjoyment of playing the guitar, and that's really all I expect from it,
Enjoying science and coffee on your Facebook.
Yes.
What kind of science?
Science. So right now I'm interested in computers. Computer science is something I'd like to get into university to study. But even before that, physics. I wanted to be a pilot, and aerodynamics and the miracle of flight always fascinated me. I grew up on planes, as a little kid. I think my first transatlantic flight, I was 6 weeks old, and so it's been a big part of my life as well, following my father around. I like to learn and try to understand how things work. So.
And what about the coffee?
The coffee. If you grow up my father's son, there's coffee is. Everybody in my family is addicted to coffee. It's always there. It's great. I love it.
American coffee or
no. American coffee is far too watery. Yeah. I like the coffee we have in Denmark. Europeans, they tend to drink their coffee a little bit more seriously, a lot more flavor. But espresso. Good espresso. It's always fun on the road finding the best espresso, and you're in a new city, you go and you find the little ma and pa operations that make coffee, and it's a fun little pursuit, I guess you could say.
Okay, Jon, thank you very much for taking your time for us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.